Do we have too much government?
We need to put people ahead of corporate profits.
This system is so lopsided.
This threat is a real threat to democracy.
And I think that's really important. That's something we haven't been doing in this country for a long time.
Where do you start? What do you do? How do you do it?
Access to Democracy and other Eagan community television programming is supported by Thomson Reuters, makers of Westlawn Next and based in Eagan. Through Westlawn Next and other innovative online services, Thomson Reuters is the world's leading source of intelligent information for businesses and professionals. Online at thomsonreuters.com. And by U.S. Federal Credit Union, the member-owned financial institution offering service, value, and experience you can trust to the greater Twin Cities community.
And welcome back to Access to Democracy. Access to Democracy special Twins show today. And we're really pleased to have back the president of the Twins, Dave St. Peter. Dave, welcome back.
Great to be here.
Been here many times.
Yes.
And Dave started as an intern with the Twins in 1990, became president in 2002. I think that's about the time he started appearing on this show. Has made many appearances and always a valued guest. We've seen him down in Florida when we did a special down there on spring training. And it's really exciting. Now, Dave has lived through world championships, he's lived through division championships, and he's lived through a couple of not so great years. So, where are we? We have things to talk about today, certainly.
Well, first of all, it's great to be here. I applaud everything that Access for Democracy does and means for our community, and it's been great to be a guest on your show. And you're right, over the course of my tenure with the Twins, which really started back in 1990, I've seen great seasons and horrible seasons and a lot in between. And certainly baseball and sports in general, I think it mirrors life. There's certainly going to be ups and downs and ebbs and flows. But there's also some constants. And I think one of the great things about Twins baseball is people care deeply. It brings community together. And of course now with the onset of Target Field, we have this wonderful asset for our community that people just love coming to all spring and over the summer and hopefully into the fall. We've got a lot of work to do as a baseball team.
It's interesting because when we were Minnesotans for Major League Baseball,
yes,
fighting for Target Field, I looked much younger. You look the same. I don't
well,
understand
I don't know about that, but you obviously were part of a group that took a hard look at the Twins in the Metrodome, and more importantly, the future of Major League Baseball in this marketplace. Could it be viable? And I think your recommendations with that group and ultimately the creation of Target Field, I think, has really proven to be a wonderful step forward for our community.
A great facility.
And we're excited about that. We have a lot of work to do. We obviously understand that the expectations with our baseball team, not only internally, but of course externally, are much higher than what we have done on the field the last 2 years. And Terry Ryan, our general manager, Rob Antony, our assistant GM, many people in our baseball organization are working hard to make sure that as we go to spring training in a couple months, we go with a team that is not only capable of being better than last year, but ultimately contending for our division championship.
Terry has been here. And I think that there is no better general manager in the major leagues than Terry Ryan. I have tremendous faith in him. If you read the columns today in the two newspapers, they certainly have great faith in him, because today is a day when we said goodbye to Denard Span, who's really been a standout and a standard bearer for us. But we move onward and upward. Alex Meyer, who I don't know much about except his initials AM are certainly very good initials. I recommend them highly.
Yeah. Well, you know, obviously Denard Span's been a wonderful contributor to this organization on the field, in the community, has been a good ambassador. This was an opportunity for us to ultimately try to position our baseball team over the long term to get better. In order to do that, sometimes you have to make difficult decisions, and this was not an easy decision, but Terry and his group felt as though we had a chance to bring in Alex Meyer from the Nationals organization, and by all accounts, a pitcher who certainly has the ability in the very near term to be in the major leagues, but not only in a rotation, but at the top of that rotation. And those are commodities that are really difficult to come by, and we felt as though this was an important move. And I would expect you'll see additional moves, all aimed at really trying to solidify the starting pitching within our organization, which really has been, in our mind, is going to be the key to returning the Twins to the level of prominence that we've all enjoyed here over the course of the last 10 to 15 years.
Well, the baseball meetings are next week. I know you'll be there. I know Terry will be there. I know the whole front office will be there virtually. And yes, I expect that we will hear some more as a result of those meetings.
Yes, we like a lot of parts of our ball club. We think we certainly, with Joe Mauer and with Josh Willingham and with Justin Morneau, we think we have some really strong core players. And our bullpen last year really emerged with the Glenn Perkins as our closer, Jared Burton, and a number of others. I think the piece in our club that needs to really be solidified is starting pitching and depth within that area. You'll be able to come by that certainly via free agency.
Diamond can't
trades.
do it by himself.
That's correct. And maybe even the Rule 5 draft, which will be held next Thursday. Scott Diamond, a product of the Rule 5 draft in the past. Johan Santana, a product of the Rule 5 draft. So let's see what comes with that process all next week in Nashville.
And of course, we have not only Meyer now added, and I don't know that he'll make the rotation this year, but he probably will in the near future.
Well, I think he'll be competing for a spot. I think it's most likely that he'll start out in our minor league system, either a AA or AAA. But there's no doubt that if he pitches the way he's capable of, he'll move quickly and will be part of our major league staff.
We have a returning player coming back from Tommy John surgery.
Yes, Kyle Gibson, who was our #1 pick
nice
3 years ago, and Kyle Gibson is a nice young man, but I think also is a guy that has that ability to be a top of the rotation type starter. He's healthy. He pitched well for us down the stretch in our minor league system, and then went out to the Arizona Fall League over the course of October and November, and really, frankly, got through it with a tremendous amount of success. He'll go to spring training. We'll need to monitor his innings in 2013, but I would fully expect he's going to be heard from and has a good chance to be part of our starting rotation.
And he's a terrific pitcher. He
is.
His record speaks for itself.
That is correct. He has a multiple pitch mix. He's a great athlete, and he's a very cerebral young man. So he knows what he's doing. So, generally speaking, that's a recipe for success at any level, including the major leagues.
But as president, you're not only concerned with the baseball side of things, you also have to take care of the organizational side of things. Like, what changes can we expect in Target Field, if any, this year? Well,
we're always working to make the facility better. Some of that just makes sure that we're keeping it up, that we're keeping it clean, that we're keeping it at that new level that we saw in 2010. In addition to that, we're revising a section of seats in right field, formerly the right field bleachers. Some of those seats were obstructed. We want to do better than that. So that seating section has been revised and will be debuted. It'll include drink rail seating and stools, and I think it's going to be a fun destination in Target Field. We're always looking to enhance technology. You'll see some enhancements not only on the food and beverage side in terms of concessions, but also in addition to that with the level of Wi-Fi service that's available throughout the ballpark. And then, beyond that,
new radio station.
A new radio, yes. Our games will move to 96.3 FM, K-Twin, starting with spring training. And we're excited about Twins baseball on FM, but we're also excited about a new partnership and a lot of the synergies that can come with that with 96.3 FM, our sister company to the Twins, and ultimately, I think, a fun music format and a great commitment to community, to music, and to sports.
Trees in center field, yes or no?
It's the question I get the most. I'd say no. I'd love to put the trees there. Jim Polad would love to put the trees there. We all would. The reality of it is that it's a challenge. It's a challenge based on the feedback that we get, not just from our hitters, but from umpires, from Major League Baseball. We have a very a challenging sun angle at Target Field with the way our ballpark is oriented. We've tried to improve that with a very flat black wall. Unfortunately, the trees complicate that some. So we're going to continue to look at ways to add trees to Target Field. That's something that we hope that we can resolve here at some point, but I don't think you'll see them in the batter's eye in 2013.
And the field itself is just a wonderful field, and so much of this is due to Carl Pohlad and the Pohlad family. And I'm still waiting to get Jim on the show.
We'll work on that.
13 years, and I've been pushing
We'll
him.
work on that.
But they have contributed so much to this community, which I've talked about with guests before. The community fund, all the activities, what they do for Little League Baseball, so much. The Pohlads have put so much, in addition to millions of their own money, into the field, into everything else. And I think that Carl Pohlad, and in fact I wrote about it, got a bad rap simply because they talked about moving the team away years ago, and I think that wasn't fair to him for all that he's contributed and did contribute. And it's a shame that he wasn't alive to see this come to fruition, but his sons have certainly picked up, especially Jim, the cudgel.
Well, there's no doubt about it that this community has been blessed with a number of families that continue to call Minnesota home and really work hard to make sure that our quality of life here is strong and that we're doing the right thing as a community. I would just say that I think history has already started to really tell a different story than maybe what was told 5 or 10 years ago. There's no doubt that as baseball has evolved, as the organization has evolved, but really with Target Field now being there, I think that the family does garner, frankly, more credit today than they maybe did 5 years ago or 10 years ago. But one of the realities is the Pohlad family isn't looking for credit. They're doing these things for the right reasons, to give back and to be involved and to be good owners, good stewards of the Twins. And at the end of the day, they're about as far from self-promoters as you're going to find. And I think that's one of the interesting things about their dynamic.
Because that's so true. And Justin Morneau is in the same mold. He will show up at the Children's Hospital as he did the other day. No cameras, no reporters, no publicity, just to give gifts to children who are really suffering all sorts of illnesses. And it exemplifies really what so many other players do and what they contribute to the community. Now we have a different situation because I understand that this weekend is Joe Mauer's wedding. Well, there's rumors to that effect anyway. I don't know that it's true.
Well, yeah, and I'm sworn to secrecy, Alan. So
I know.
But, we've been blessed with not only really good baseball players over time, but some very, frankly, high character men. And families that have been part of the Twins organization.
That's why they don't want to go elsewhere.
You mentioned Justin. He's a great example. He and his wife Krista, I think, they understand that they're very privileged to be, have the opportunity to play Major League Baseball and to obviously earn a very sizable income. But they also understand the power and the responsibility that comes with that. And I think they recognize that they have an ability to give back, to leverage off of that for the betterment, perhaps, of young people, of kids, of whatever the cause might be. And I think you need to give those folks credit.
And they don't get enough of it, frankly. And Michael Kadire, when he was here, was the same.
There's a long list of folks, and even Denard Span, who I know we traded this week. Denard Span was a tremendous spokesperson for what the Twins organization, the Twins Community Fund, has really been committed to in terms of urban youth, the RBI program, Rookie League, all of those things that have been really central to the Twins Community Fund's mission since 1991.
And now it's time for somebody else to step up.
Pass the baton.
And that's exactly right. Now, one of the things they said about Target Field is that right-handers couldn't hit home runs. And Terry Ryan went out and got Josh Willingham. All of a sudden, right-handers can hit home runs in Target Field and hit over 30 of them. And what a great asset he was to the team this past year. You look at some of Terry's trades. You mentioned Burton, and certainly what he has done in the short time that he's been back. That was certainly one of the most meaningful, though.
Yeah, we felt as though the additions to our club in 2012 actually were all very positive. Certainly Josh Willingham proved to be one of the more prolific home run hitters in the American League as a right-handed hitter at Target Field. In addition to that, Orion Domit came on, did a great job. Jamie Carroll, Jared Burton. I think all of those successes really add to the frustration of why we didn't win more games. And certainly starting pitching had a lot to do with it, but it wasn't all of it. And we need to get back to playing a brand of baseball in terms of defensively, in terms of running the bases. All of those things add up to victories. And at the end of the day, that's the focus for 2013.
And unfortunately, last year there is Baker with a $5 or $6 million contract, and I don't think he pitched an inning.
No.
Or maybe he pitched one inning, but I think not any during the season. The team has to eat that unless you have insurance on it, and I won't even go into that with you, but that's the head of your rotation is gone. And then other people come down with injuries.
Yeah.
And then Liriano never developed the way we thought he would, and who knows, maybe he's going to be back. Although I shuddered when I read it in the paper the other day.
You know, injuries are part of every team's landscape to some extent.
But not your whole pitching staff.
You know, and certainly that was a challenge. But you know, we as an organization have a responsibility to make sure that we have people in a place to take those spots and have success. And some of our guys were probably pitching in the big leagues before they were ready. But you know, they garnered valuable experience. I do think they'll be more prepared the next time they get that call. Some of those people will be competing for spots in 2013. But as an organization, we believe very strongly that there are no excuses. You know, there's an expectation that we win, and ultimately, you know, it's incumbent upon us to do what we can to give Ron Gardenhire and Rick Anderson and the balance of our coaching staff a team that's capable of winning and getting better, and that's really our focus for 2013.
And you can see that as we move forward. There have been some changes in the coaching staff. There have been some changes in the front office, always moving to better the situation from what we had.
Yeah,
some of them are painful.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, as an organization, we've always prided ourselves on great stability and continuity. But anytime you go through the types of seasons that we have the last 2 years, particularly on the baseball side, you know, there's going to be people that are going to take a look at things in terms of maybe we can change some things with the hopes of getting better. And, you know, we were able to add a Tom Bernansky to our coaching staff, a Terry Steinbach, a Bobby Cuellar. All three of those guys have a strong major league pedigree. They've all been tied to our organization over time. And, you know, we're hopeful that they're going to be part of maybe a little different voice out of our coaching staff with Ron Gardenhire that really helps prepare our team to really turn the corner in 2013. And organizationally, we have a responsibility to always try to get better and assess where we're at and how we can continue to move forward.
And if the people who are watching, and I know we have a nice viewership, really want to treat, get down to Fort Myers and watch spring training. Now, there are big changes coming up in Fort Myers also.
There are. Yeah, we've been very blessed to call Lee County and specifically Fort Myers home since 1991. Spring training baseball, you're right, Alan. It's a treat. If you've never been, I highly recommend it.
It's so different.
It's a very laid-back atmosphere.
The chance to mix with the players.
Intimate ballparks and a lot of fun in the sun. We are fortunate that we're working on a renovation of our complex in Fort Myers, about a $47 million project. Won't be completed probably until spring of 2015, but nonetheless, we'll take what has been and always, we believe, will be one of the better spring training facilities in all of baseball and really make it, again, the top in the league. And that's really exciting for us who love spring training and love the Fort Myers and life in Southwest Florida.
And Sharon and I were down, and we shot a special a couple of years ago.
Yes.
We were lucky enough to catch Maurer, who doesn't like to be interviewed that much, and Morneau and some of the others. And Mike Herman bent over backwards to really see that we got access even tickets to a Red Sox game to start
wonderful.
the spring training. And Mike's a great guy.
Well, we appreciate that. Mike's done a nice job. But, I think accessibility of our franchise is important, and we're thrilled that you took the time to come down and visit us in Fort Myers.
Well, we're there all the time.
We'll welcome you back.
We're there over the summer also, but behind the dugout and a little bit to the right of the dugout.
Wonderful. We'll look for you.
That's 106, row 16,
Okay,
seats
very
8
good.
and 9.
Oh, very impressive. Very impressive.
And we like it there. I was about to say something about Fort Myers. Is it true that the specifications of the field are going to be exactly the same as what they are in Target Field?
Well, I think right now the plan is for the field dimensions, really the outfield dimensions, to be the same. We won't have some of the height with some of the walls, but it'll be comparable. And really the focus there is to just try to give our outfielders a bit of an advantage by really starting to get adept at what those gaps are and where balls are going to, where you're going to, angles that you're going to need to take to get to a ball, etc. So that's one of the little nuances that we'll try to modify.
That's
in
a
Fort
great
Myers.
benefit for the players, though.
Yeah,
To be able to step from there right into a
it is.
field. Yes,
It
maybe
is.
the fences are a little bit, or the walls are a little bit higher, but you're familiar.
No doubt, that familiarity, and also down the lines in terms of how much foul territory there is, what balls might be catchable, which ones are going to be in the seats. I think that's going to help our players, and hopefully they take that in. I think it can be beneficial in avoiding injury. I think it can be beneficial in just a player's mindset in terms of playing their position.
Well, we're only a couple of weeks away from spring training, and as usual, the juices start flowing and we get excited. You're so placid. I don't know. You're from North Dakota. You don't get excited.
I get excited. You can't help but be. If you're a baseball fan, there's nothing quite like the beginning of a season, the start of spring training, looking forward to opening day. Certainly, as I said, we have a lot of work to do. We want to put a team on the field that Minnesota can be proud of. We want to put a team on the field that's capable of not only winning our division, but contending for a world championship. So there will no doubt be a lot of questions as we enter spring training. There always are some questions, but there will be more than normal. My hope is that we have folks who can step up and provide the answers to those questions.
We have the money to pay the salaries if we need to.
Yeah, by all means. Certainly our issue right now isn't player payroll. Our issue right now is making sure we're making the right baseball decisions. There's a path here, Alan, to return to contention, and I'm pretty optimistic that we're on the right path.
Sharon grew up as a Cleveland Indian fan. She
Wow.
was from Cleveland originally. I was from New York, if you didn't notice from the accent, but I was a Yankee fan all my life. We came out here, we're both baseball fans. We sat in the Metrodome for a Yankee game on one occasion. There were 9,000 people in the stands. The Yankees come rolling in with their $100 million payroll. We, I think, had a $17 million payroll at the time. And from that day, we became Twins fans, because you can't just countenance that. You have to root for those guys. And, it's been brought home to us so many times. We've had such pleasure from the Twins. We've eaten in the facilities at Target Field. We've enjoyed, and I urge people to get down to Fort Myers once again. It's such a great experience that the Twins have become very much a part of our way of life, as you saw with our late dog, Toby,
Yes.
who wore his Twins uniform proudly back in the days when we had dog days at the stadium. So, yeah.
Well, we appreciate that, and it's not lost on us that there's a lot of folks, just like Sharon and you, who care deeply about baseball. It's a big part of your day in and day out life, and ultimately, I think that's the wonderful thing about the sport is the passionate fans and what it means to people, ultimately what it means to a community.
I learned early on that I wasn't going to be a player. As a matter of fact, I still remember my double, because it's the only one I think I ever hit. But yes, to have a team, and to have a team with the spirit and with the community backing, and with a family like the Pohlads that leads this team on, it really is it's so easy to become attached to the Twins. Now the Twins do, and we don't have too much time left, so much in the community. Tell us a little bit about the contributions of the Twins to the community.
Well, certainly we've been blessed with ownership, the Pohlad family since 1984, and their mission within the community has been well documented, and we operate just like many of their operating companies. The Twins are unique. We have assets that can be beneficial to so many different nonprofits across the upper Midwest, whether that be game tickets or autographed memorabilia or access at Target Field, or certainly dollars. And we try to be supportive of those. We have the Twins Community Fund, which is our 501c3 that is governed by an independent board of directors from across the 5-state region. And that focus is really enriching the lives of young people through an association with the games of baseball or softball. So whether it be field renovation or youth baseball, softball leagues in the urban centers or scholarship programs, we're very proud of the growth of the Twins Community Fund, and certainly that would never have happened without the support not only of our players, our fans, but great corporate cornerstone partners such as Target and Best Buy and Delta and Treasure Island, as well as
Thomson
US
Reuters,
Bank.
as we sit
Thomson
here
Reuters, a wonderful
in
partner.
this wonderful facility.
So we're proud of that. And then at the end of the day, I think, as I said before, we've had wonderful players on the field, but we've also had the benefit since 1961 of having some really great ambassadors off the field in terms of the people that have worn our uniforms. So whether that be a Harmon Killebrew or a Tony Oliva or a Jim Cott or a Ken Herbeck or a Gary Gaetti or a Frank Viola, Kirby Puckett, but now a Joe Mauer, a Justin Morneau, we've been blessed with people that we can be proud of wearing our uniform off the field and going about life the right way, representing the Twins, giving back, and being a role model for our kids. And that's the thing I think I'm probably most proud of.
And we have very little time left, but what's attendance look like for 2013?
Well, we're in the midst of our season ticket renewal. I feel pretty good about the fact that we'll be probably between 19 and 20,000 full season equivalents. That should rank in the top 10 of baseball. We drew about 275 last year. I'm hopeful that we're not only going to be able to draw that again, but exceed it. Certainly if we have a competitive baseball team, it'll help that. But again, relative to the balance of the industry, I think our attendance will be better than average. And I think if we're a good team on the field, there's no reason to believe that we couldn't draw in excess of 3 million people again.
We've done it before.
We can do it again.
We certainly can do it again. Dave St. Peter, taking time out, getting ready to leave for the baseball meetings, with so much on your plate, I really appreciate you coming down here and sharing with us the story of the Twins and a little bit about the Twins.
It's a pleasure. Congratulations on everything you've done, and we can't wait to see you at spring training.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.